I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin, and in this video we're going to have another look at Ninneko. Nothing in this video is financial advice, it is for entertainment purposes only. The last time we had a look at Ninneko, there was quite the journey so far. So we got in, or at least I got in, at about here, 5.6 cents. Obviously, I always share my entries and I don't always share my exits. However, it did took a small pump there. This was basically of the three major announcements in this month coming up. Basically, the beta launch and the alpha launch, and they had another announcement I already forgot about. So we did the beta launch and now we're waiting for the alpha launch, and I do have some dates and an important price prediction for you, including that. First, actually, we're going to pick the winner of the giveaway, because in the last Ninneko video, we had a giveaway for an NFT, and the winner, I'm just going to scroll, pick somebody, doesn't really matter. I did throw around a lot of likes. I'm just going to stop somewhere, and I'm going to choose this guy. What's his name? Arvin El Guido. Arvin, you are the winner. Congratulations. I'll text you. You are the winner. Please DM me. Congrats. All right, he won the Ninneko NFT, Arvin, and I hope that makes you extremely happy. What is going on with the price? That's the most important thing, right? We had some pump right here, and obviously people ask me all the time, why is the price dropping? Well, I can tell you, because people are taking profit, right? So the market cap here apparently is not correct, confirmed by the Ninneko team for 1 million. At the current market cap, still extremely micro cap, right? I joined on 5 cents, so I'm not even on this chart as I just showed you. I can move the chart. So I got in about here and I took profit, my first profit at 17, my second profit somewhere here, 27, I believe. Not too sure. Definitely not at the all-time high, or 22 even. I took profit quite early because taking profit is one of my main strategies. I'm not going to diamond hand this project. I'm going to ride the hype wave as soon as that was indicated and take profit according to my target. My target was to do at least a 1x. It turned out to be a 3.5 on average x, which is more than amazing for me. I did take a smaller entry, which is completely fine. You don't always have to take much risk. Obviously, people ask like, oh my God, some people buy at 30 cents. That makes no sense in my opinion, because if it went up from 5 cents, literally in a matter of 4 days to 5 days, to 33 cents, it did a 6x. Do you think from this point it will do another 6x in the short term? Probably not. Probably people are going to sell, which is just common sense, right? Which we saw here, a slow downward trend. Now we are in a period, which is basically the last day, where the price is about to stabilize, right? It's up and down a little bit, but it's stabilizing. So is there a new opportunity coming up? Yes. Am I going to take another Ninneko entry? No. Why? Because the gains will not be as significant, in my opinion, as before. Is there odds that it shoots to $1? Sure. Do I think it's likely to happen? No. Do I think it can go back to this point here of 33 cents? Yes. However, there are so many other opportunities that I would like to consider. You can see that there were definitely some big hypes around this game before, and I think with the alpha launch that definitely will return. Everybody I've spoken to so far asking about the game actually said that as investors they never play games, but the Ninneko is quite an addictive game. Just to play for like 10-15 minutes, it's quite enjoyable. So that's a good thing, I guess. I haven't played it, but it does look really, really promising. Definitely too small for me to be a long-term hold. Also not my type of audience. I don't think the audience is big enough to get mass adoption behind this game. But for the APAC region market, this could be definitely a good foundational game, right? So where do we think things are going to go? Let's first talk about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is quite stable. If Bitcoin would shoot down below 40K, that would definitely have an impact on these micro caps, right? Even on the alpha launch, so far Bitcoin is quite stable the last week, right? If we see there are some downtrends, there are some uptrends, but on average quite stable, so to say. So that's important to note, right? Because I'm basically looking at the next 2 weeks for the Ninneko announcement. So in 2 weeks, January ends. This is a short-term price prediction where we're basically looking at the most important thing, which we can pull. One of the big announcements was obviously the alpha launch, right? They're launching the official game after beta testing it for about 2 weeks. They did some updates with the tech, which I do really think is very important. They launched a Discord channel, so they're expanding. Now they're doing an airdrop, quite a big one. You can check this out in their Telegram. Well, it's $30,000, so for this project, it's a big one. But the time frame is really important. So it runs from 12th of January to January 22nd, that's my birthday actually, which means that it's unlikely for the alpha to be launched between this date, which also means that it will launch between the 23rd and the 31st, which is basically the last week of January. The alpha will launch. That is obviously good intel to have in terms of where the price will move. When you assume the price to spike is, in my opinion, the last week of January, right? So up until that point, we might see a more of a downward trend. If we zoom out on a 15-minute chart, we can basically see that it took a huge run, right? From 5 cents, which was basically the lowest low around that point, right? Because here it was still 7. It took a spike here at the end of December, and then it was like a slow downward slope with the Bitcoin crash. Then there was some small spike here, and then it went down again. Obviously, people were taking profit here, which is normal. And then because of the hype of the videos, obviously I covered Ninneko numerous times. There were some other bigger YouTube channels that covered it. And those eyeballs, right, when the price pumps, let's say 3x, it gets noticed in CoinMarketCap, right? People see 300%. People go check out the project, and then the consistent hype comes. But obviously, a lot of these people are there to take profit in the short term, and then it crashes again. So that's normal. However, if you look at the price, it's still on a 4x, even though it crashed down, right? So do I think there's another opportunity? Yes, I do think we'll enter a stabilization period. And don't get me wrong, this is just me reading the chart, which I know nothing about, right? So I don't do technical analysis or anything difficult there. I just use my fairly common sense. So I think this will stabilize a little bit, and then as soon as the game launches or the game launch is announced, the official launch, we see an upward trend because you need to use those tokens, right? When we look at the actual vesting, it's 5% TGE in a linear vesting in 9 months. That is on the 5th, right? So the IDO ended 5th of November. I don't know when the actual listing happened, but I think quite quickly after that. If we look at the all-time chart, yeah, so this is the 5th. Basically, it got listed, right? As we can see here. So it immediately got listed, which means that the 5th of February, you would need to get out because a portion of the vesting is released, and those guys already have a 12x, which most likely means that they're going to dump, right? Assumingly that would make sense. So in that case, now we're entering a non-critical period. I think we're going to enter quite a relaxed period up until, let's say, put this to a 30-minute chart, make it a little bit easier. So up until probably the 23rd, right here, until probably, well, the end of January, right? So the launch happens somewhere here. And then before the 5th, you need to get out, right? If you're going to make it a short-term flip. Would I myself, because I can't give financial advice, so I cannot recommend to do anything, but I can tell you what I would do. Would I hold this project long-term because I think it's an A+ level game? No. Would I be interested in flipping it again in the future? Yes, but I would only want to flip it in this case if let's say over the next week it sinks back to, let's say, below 10 cents, then I'll most likely make a re-entry position, because on the alpha I think it will spike again because of the demand for the token to play the game, upgrade the NFTs, the breeding will be activated, there will be lots of utility for the token. So I definitely think the demand will be there, but it would have to go like 10, 11 cents maybe, bring it back to about this level here, 8 to maybe 12 cents, right? That region. because then I would basically have faith that on the launch we could see a replica of this spike. And again, I would take, even if it goes to, let's say, 8 cents, I might do like a 5 or 10K position, and then I'll just take a 1x, right? So as soon as I made like a 1x return on it, I'll just exit it again. Even though it can go to 40 cents, it might go to $1 on the launch, depending on how much marketing is involved. I'm not going to take that risk. I'm just going to do a short, quick flip in and out. I think that's the best thing to do. After the alpha launch, I most likely won't cover the Ninneko project in the short term again, unless it's going to pull some major moves and the launch does really well and everything. But I do see a future with this, so I will definitely keep my eye on it. It's just not my style of game, right? I think it's a little bit too focused on a very niche market, right? And also with the market cap, so here official launch, January still. Then I got Guild Wars and Village Building, so they are expanding, and it's always nice to have one of these tokens in your portfolio, your watch portfolio, just to watch, to see what's it doing over time, to see if sometimes you might be able to get another entry on it, right? Because I believe that even if this token crashes, because Bitcoin crashes or whatever, and you know these announcements are coming up, then that's fine. If we look at the Ninneko all-time chart, right? I did the IDO, right? So I did sell here. I was in it on launch zone. Every vesting I've basically sold. Basically after the first vesting, I already got my initial back because it did pump really, really hard. Right now with the current price, 20 cents, it's still. So we bought it for 1.5 cents, right? So we did like a 25x straight on the launch on the first TGE amount. For this chart. And then the second vesting on the 5th basically cost this DAP, right here, which makes sense because then again, you would have a 25x. Even if you sold here, you had like 12x. So that's still all good. Just note that the February 5th was very small because people didn't dump that much because the ROI wasn't really there. But on February, that will happen if the chart is looking bullish again, right? The IDO investors will get out. Primarily looking at the vesting that I'm still going to receive. I will still cover Ninneko in the future, right? Because it's still relevant for me as part of my little long vesting portfolio, right? I'm in it for at least 8 more months, 7 right now, because we already received 2 TGE and 2 vestings. But so far, yeah, small project, dedicated following, which is great, and good potential, but nothing into, I would say, the hundreds of millions worth of market cap in the near future. Right, so that's basically Ninneko for now. Wait for the upcoming launch, take action, but make sure you are aware of the vesting that's being released on the 5th of February. If you have any questions about Ninneko, feel free to ask in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to have a look. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.